Hello everyone and welcome back to the second round of AOR Season 12 on the PS4. It's the Bahrain Grand Prix, and to take you through it once again is myself, Shane, and joining me will be Dan.
Yeah, as Shane said, we'll be taking you through the second round of this season at Bahrain after an exciting season opener at Australia, where we saw Alex take the win and claim the full 25 points. Bahrain provides a real challenge for the drivers, as consistency will be key to try and make sure that you can break away from the slipstream trains that often form around this track. The question is, who can do this the best and take the win?
So the person who did this at the best last season was Tyrannotiger, who stormed to victory. So let's find out who's got pole this season in the qualifying comparison.
So welcome to the qualifying comparison for Bahrain, jumping on board with the Mercedes of Desimpele on the left and the Manor of Bicot on the right. Coming down towards turn 1, one of the heaviest braking zones on the calendar, braking about 125 metres. Bicot opting for first gear, whereas Desimpele keeps it in second. No real dramas for either driver on the exit in the traction zone, pretty clean from both of them, no oversteer on show, which is why they are pretty much dead equal coming down towards turn 4. Braking just after the 100 metre wall down to second gear, pretty clean from both of them, to be honest. And then you can see they are dead equal coming out of the first sector and into the middle sector through the fast right left of 5, 6 and 7 down to fourth gear, clipping the apex nicely from both of them, avoiding the curb on the outside as that can really throw you off. And then down into turn 8, Desimpele missing the apex slightly, but that hasn't hindered him too much. Both drivers short shifting up to third gear to avoid the wheel spin. Then down into the tricky turn 10 downhill, Desimpele locking the rears slightly, which won't have lost him too much time, before both drivers get on the DRS on the run down towards turn 11, braking just before the 50 metre ball. Both drivers going down towards third gear. Bicot missing the apex slightly, which has hindered him a bit on his run up this hill, and you can see that has cost him slightly to Desimpele. He's about half a car length behind now into this long flat right-hander before the penultimate corner down to third gear. Both drivers once again clipping the apex very nicely before the run down towards the final corner, braking at about the 100 metre wall before going down to third gear and then short shifting up to fourth, executed very nicely by both drivers. No real issues for either of them there, and Desimpele carries a 3/10 advantage up to the line. That has been the qualifying report for Bahrain.
So it was Jim Nervo tanking the Renault who claimed pole position with a lap time of 1:30.2, taking pole by over 4/10, clearly showing he has got some very good pace around this track. It was Big Shot in second, closely followed by Desimpele in the Mercedes. M. Thorne, who was making his debut in this season after missing the first race in Australia, claimed fourth, with BMU making it a very good day for Mercedes in fifth. Ali K, still the only McLaren on the grid, was sixth, with Kean in seventh, RBOS 8th, Big C 9th, and Alex rounded out the top 10 in 10th. All drivers below Alex have a free choice of tyres at the start of the race, which could be crucial in terms of strategy. It was ex-Mayor Madison 11th with GR Demon making up the 6th row of the grid. Dan and Number on the 7th row with Bicot in P15. Also, it's key to note that from P2 to P15 was separated by only 4/10, so we're going to see a very interesting midfield battle, and also a battle for the podium considering how close it is. Jonas, Theo, NB Rubin and Mazias were the drivers who rounded out the grid today, and our boy was still unable to attend. And now it's time for the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Welcome to the race here in Sakhir at sunset, a stunning venue to host round 2. With the field looking so close, Dan, who is your money on to win?
I think it's got to be on Jim Nervo tank. His performance in qualifying was simply dominating, and someone is going to have to pull out a real effort to try and take the 25 points away from him today. But now all that's ready is to get ready for those 5 red lights.
We did say Nervo Tank was best to win this race last time out, but look what happened there. Anyway, we've got 5 lights now. Lights out, away we go for the Bahrain Grand Prix. On board with Ali K from 6th place on the grid. He gets a pretty good start off the line going down into turn 1. Already going down the inside of M. Thorne and a Mercedes on the left hand side. Gets on the curb and just about manages to survive. Stays in 6th place so as he loses traction on the exit. Nervo Tank is away in the lead. Then we have Big Shot. Then we have the Mercedes of Desimpele and M. Thorne, sorry, looking up the inside at turn 4, but can't quite get the drive through turn 4 as the train funnels through this first sector. It's been a pretty clean start so far, and the two Mercedes sandwiching the Haas as the Haas has a look down the inside and can't quite get his car far enough alongside. But it's been a pretty good start so far.
Yeah, it has. Big Shot got actually quite a decent starting towards turn 1. Was looking up the inside of the Renault driver, but Nervo Tank had the outside line and got better traction through turn 2 and turn 3, and it's now starting to pull away. I think we've got the McLaren possibly going up the inside of the second Mercedes of BMU, but Ali K wisely backs out of that one. Don't want to be going for ridiculous moves at this point in the race. Important to stick in those slipstream trains, and then you can have a good end to the race if you've got plenty of fuel and good tyres. But plenty of arrows happening behind. There's some sort of commotion happening behind, and RBOS has managed to work his way into P7. Don't know what's happened to the Renault of Kian. I presume we might see a replay of that at some point, but BMU still looking good at this point, but loses the rear end coming out of the final corner. Could that put him under pressure from the McLaren in towards turn 1?
He's close enough in the slipstream. I've got up front now. Big Shot under threat from the Mercedes of Display. Thorne trying to sneak round the outside. He's got the inside line for 2, but doesn't get enough traction, and Display holds on to that 3rd place. But will he have the run up towards turn 4? Ali K right behind his the Mercedes teammate of BMU in. Oh, Dan's retired, so something's happened at the back there. There was a yellow flag in the background at turn 4, so hopefully we'll get a replay of that as well. But Ali K is still in 6th place right behind the Mercedes of BMU, as we've got the other half of RBOS right behind the Renault. There's quite a train actually forming behind these pair, as Thorne just about manages to get it to the apex of that corner. Looks slightly out of control on the rear brakes as people struggle for traction out of that tricky double left-hander at turn 9 and 10.
Yeah, as Ben and Ali K have started battling, you can see that they've started to come a little bit detached from the cars ahead, which is not ideal at this point in the race. They can maybe try and work together, use the DRS and slipstream to catch back up, but they seem to be more focused on track position right now. The Renault of Keen has clearly got back ahead of RBOS, so well, he's managing to work his way back up the field. Back towards the front though, Thorne is all over the rear end of Display as we go towards the start of a lap 3 here. He pulls it up into Rich Mix, no DRS yet, but pulls out of the switching, goes towards the inside. Can he make this move stick? Up the inside, I think that's going to be a very easy move for the Haas driver. He works his way into P3, and now we're trying to chase down the Ferrari of Big Shot, but Nervo Tank up front, already pulling out a sizable gap and looking good. But the Mercedes of Display isn't done with Thorne just yet. Go to the outside of turn 4. Thorne defends the inside line. Display might get better traction around the outside. No, he doesn't. And so Thorne is up into P3.
Very good move up the inside, very clean as well from the Haas driver, using a slightly different camera to everyone else, but that's personal preference at the moment. You can see on the, well, we could see on the mini-map the train that is behind these guys at the moment. The Simplay pulling away from that, the top 4 all pulling away from that as BMU holds up the rest of the pack. And here we go on the exit of turn 10, you can see that train. That's a brilliant camera shot, and we're now on board with Kian in 7th place, started in 7th, so he's not really lost anything at the moment, but he's right behind these 2 people in front, battling quite hard for position as he goes up the inside of turn 12, almost makes contact with Ali K there, just about manages to get out of it in time, and that doesn't really cost him anything in terms of position, but it cost him a little bit in distance, and Ali K slightly lagging a little bit, so hopefully that isn't an issue for the rest of the race. But here we are around the last corner, a little bit of a lock-up, although that might not be the case. It's quite an unfortunate glitchy thing with the spectator cam. But Ali K looks very, very close to the Mercedes of BMU. Up the inside, Kian going to have a look up the inside of him as well. 3 abreast, no, just 2 abreast. And Ali K is up into 4th now, so someone must have pitted. As there was a Williams, I think, backwards through turn 1. That's not the most ideal way to go through it. Ali K struggling for traction off the exit of 3, and now that's allowed BMU going right around the outside of turn 4. Can he make the move, stick around the outside? Yes, just about. Lovely move from the Mercedes drivers. We've got RBOS down the inside of Kian, but unfortunately can't get past. A lovely bit of racing there between these 4 drivers. Yeah,
but all this is doing now is allowing, well, now the top 3, because I don't know who pitted, but to someone has clearly pitted in that top 4 sort of train, but yeah, it's allowing the top 3 now to really pull away and get a good gap as Ben has gone really deep into turn 10 and RBOS has gone right into the back of the Renault, lost a bit of his front wing, so that is going to really hurt him in his next pit stop. He could be looking at a sort of 10-second pit stop when he should be getting around a 2.5-second pit stop, but it's all kicking off because now Ali K's gone up the inside of Ben. Ben's lost the rear end, Kian's through, now RBOS trying to go around the outside of Mercedes driver. Can he pull that one off? They're still side by side. I think Ben's got the inside line. I think they're still side by side. Let's see who gets a slipstream. And, well, you can see from Alex's POV now they're still side by side. Ben will have the inside line in towards turn 15. And Alex is just looking back here. He could pull off a double overtake perhaps in towards the first corner. He'll get DRS and slipstream. But no, he comes into the pit lane. RBOS also chooses to pit this lap. So we've got some very early pitters here. And we're going to see, interesting to see what tyres they go on to. But Ali K has been passed by the Renault driver of Kian. Now back with the Sauber of MB Rubin. It's a teammate battle between him and his teammate Jonas in the Sauber. And Jonas managed to hang it round the outside of turn 2 for the inside line of turn 3. Very nice move. But NB looking maybe back up the inside. No, and I think he's going to let his teammate go there. And, well, it's all kicking off here as we head on to lap 5.
Yeah, we've yet to speak about strategy so far in these first 4.5 laps because there's been so much going on. But the 2-stop we think will be the quickest way to go, but depending on how bad some people's tyre wear is, they may have to be forced onto a 3-stop as we now have a replay of the start on board with B Colt down in 15th. A pretty shocking qualifying for him. So off the line goes down the outside of Nummer and down into turn 1. It's all pretty calm so far at the moment, surprisingly. And now I think everyone makes it through there fine actually. So that's pretty good to see. And Beacock's still in 15th, so didn't gain any places but didn't lose anything. So he'll be satisfied with that, I think. As we've got a lucky Force India down the inside there. And that's Nummer. Oh! Okay, I think Nummer tapped the back of his teammate, spun round, and Beacock had nowhere to go and got tapped by Nummer. Which sent him in the gravel trap as we're now on board with Dan. Is this what happened at 4? Oh my word! That was vicious! And GR Demon there, the innocent party, I think both Force India's innocent parties in that one, but had nowhere to go, no time to react to his teammate being wiped out, sadly by lag from Mayhem Madness in the Red Bull. But now back to live pictures, and Ali K goes into the pits as well. So these guys, we think, might be on, it depends what tyre they go on to. If they go on to soft, then they're definitely, well, they're most likely looking for a 3-stop. If they go on medium, they're more likely to do a 2-stop. But the super softs don't last long around here, as we're on board. Okay, we were on board with Big Shot in 2nd place. So I think it was Desimple who pitted on lap 3, which was a very early pit stop. But now Ali K on the, there is Desimple actually, speak of him. And he's going to try and sneak down the outside of 2, doesn't quite make it. But now he's going to have the outside line for turn 4. He's going to have better straight line speed actually towards turn 4. Ali K on the defensive into turn 4. Later on the brakes as well. But Desimple's got the better line and gets better traction than the McLaren driver. And Desimple is up into 12th place.
I mean, that is an absolutely beautiful camera view. But oh my god, Desimple has lost the rear end. We did see what happened there, but he lost the rear end dramatically heading in towards turn 8. But nevertheless, we're back, well, up towards P10 with M4, who's obviously come into the pits on lap 5. There's his super softs are starting to wear out. And on board with Jin Nervo Tank on lap 6, well, the last to make his pit stops. So he's fast and he's making his tyres last. This is quite an ominous, well, I don't really know what you say, but nevertheless, he has got good tyre wear. Goes onto the soft tyre, and Big Shot has got a puncture. So on his way into the pit lane, he has got a puncture. He's pushed the tyres too far, and well, he's had to suffer there. But on board now with Ali K, who was up in P4, and Kian has been held in his pit box because obviously he pitted on the same lap as Nervo Tank, so that's held him for quite a lot. A 4.1 second pit stop, so he's probably lost about 1.5 seconds in that. But Big Shot behind, who got that punch, has gone to mediums, and now coming out to the pit lane. Where is going to Desimple be? There he is. He has really not benefited that much out of that early pit stop. They're 3 wide behind. Oh my god.
Well,
Well, it's all kicking off.
They
now
all
and
managed to survive that, thankfully. They all managed to fight, live to fight another day, as we've got Kian now right on the back of one of the Mercedes, and now Big Shot down in 15th from second after that puncture. So that's torn his afternoon in pieces. Will be interesting to see how he can recover from that, to see if we can get back ahead of those guys, the two Mercedes and Ali K. But now we're on board with M Thorn, who is really far ahead of them actually. He pitted later than that lot, did he not? Because he's really ahead. I didn't expect him to be that far ahead after the first round of stops.
Well, obviously he pitted around about lap 5, which is probably the sort of average sort of lap. But he just managed to get some clean air and put some good lap times while everyone else was struggling. Goes up to the inside of Nummer there, who's still out on his super soft, so they are got to be. He's really suffering with tyre at this point in the race, but he goes up the inside, and that is move done. Now back into Kian, who seems to be suffering from quite a tough lag at this point, because Ben seems to be slightly lagging ahead of him as well, so that's a bit off-putting in towards the final corner. Ben locks up, goes quite deep all over that curve. This could allow the Renault driver a good opportunity towards turn 1, but it's not that easy with his lag. See, he's trying to get into the slipstream there, but it's just not possible due to the lag. So heading down towards turn 1, there's also a move happening ahead of us, but Kian up the inside, hits the apex, and that could be moved done, but no, Ben held it round the outside, very nice from the Mercedes driver, and he hangs on to P9 at this point, but they're all getting stuck behind him. That's Sauber, who are yet to make it. They are yet to make that pit stop.
Now we've got Ben up the inside of the Sauber. Doesn't quite get it done on the exit of turn 4. So now through this fast right-left chicane, and you can really see how much the Sauber is holding. Oh, okay. Ben just makes quick work of that Sauber and straight up into 8th place. Will Kian get the benefit now of the Sauber being off-putted by the Mercedes? Is he going to go down the inside here? No, he's not. So Kian is going to be a little bit compromised by this, although the Sauber's not lost that much time. But now it's critical for Ben to pull away as much as possible while he can, while he's got the fresh air. And Kian's down the inside already of the Sauber, and the Sauber I think just lets him through. Yes, he does. So the Sauber clearly Jonas on a different strategy, so there's no real point in fighting at this stage of the race. But now that's going to allow Ali K onto the back of him. He's got to get past this train. Well, he's got to get past the Sauber quickly to stay in touch with these two Mercedes. And now looking back at Kian, he's going to be in a relatively good position to try and get past the Mercedes in front of BMU. And now Ali K, can he get the move down into turn 1? We'll see. And there we go. Up the inside, he's going to have more braking grip on the fresh tyres. And that's him up into 10th place, back up into the points.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see how this sort of all shakes out, because I think we saw some guys starting on softs and mediums. I don't know how they are faring at this point in the Grand Prix, how they're going out there, because obviously a lot of the guys who started towards the stop on super softs guys had to make early pit stops and probably compromise their strategy quite a lot. So I think we're going to see strategies sort of combining towards the end of this race, because Ali K was up in about P4, I think, and he's currently down in 10th, so there's clearly some guys still out there who are yet to make his pit stop. Big Shot obviously got that puncture towards the end of his super soft stint, and he's all the way down in P13, showing how much time he's lost. Ali K loses the rear end, that's the last thing he needs, but we're all sort of stuck in a DRS train here on the back straight, and this is, well, what I was talking about earlier is it can often quite form, they form around Bahrain, because there isn't enough opportunities around this track to pull away from each other. So you just end up with these mighty slipstream and DRS trains. And, well, this is what is happening here. There's a Ferrari pulling over to the side. I don't know who that is, but they must have a problem.
They've got a puncture on the front left, I think we can see. They've got a puncture on the front left
tyres. Okay.
That's both Ferraris with punctures already on lap 9. So,
wow.
We kind of expected the softs to last around 9 laps. But clearly on the Ferrari they've lasted even less. So someone else did pit as well. There's a Red Bull coming out of the pits. That's probably Mayhem Madness. Ali K still fending off this Sauber, which he really should have pulled away from. But obviously losing traction on the exit of turn 10 there really didn't do him any favours. Now the Sauber's coming back at him up towards turn 4. He has to look down the inside, but obviously has less grip. So backs out of that move. And So Ali K is in 7th, and we've got Kian up the road in 6th. We've got an almighty train following behind the McLaren driver now, although he is starting to pull away from Jonas, which is critical. The Red Bull up the inside though, and now his teammates up the inside of him. I've no idea which one's which because you can't see that on the spectator cam, unfortunately, but they're right behind trying to... Oh, one of them's run wide, and Jonas losing the rear on the exit of the corner. So Jonas on the medium tyre, we expect those to go around about 11 to 12 laps maybe?
Yeah, I would suspect that is what he'll be doing. Maybe going on to then 2 soft tyres is what I would be guessing. But X-Men Madness, yeah, he came out of the pit lane. As I was saying about the strategy, people out there. Oh my god, no, back on board with Big Shot. What on earth has happened here? He's got an orange front wing, and he is having terrible luck in this run.
He did lose the car a lot on the brakes there going into that corner. Here we are with a replay. I think that's just a little bit clumsy from Big Shot there, unfortunately. As we've now got a Mercedes up the inside again. Wait, Mercedes has dropped back somewhere. Either that Mercedes has dropped back or he's pitted.
I think is that Ben? I think he's dropped back a bit and he's dropped into the clutches of Ali K. And so now Ali K is trying to put the Mercedes under pressure. Actually, Ben is on soft tyres, so I suspect they'll be coming towards the end of the line. Probably he's done about 6 or 7 laps on those now, so he's probably starting to struggle with tyre wear, and that is why the McLaren driver is caught back up. The Sauber, to be fair, he's doing an incredible job at this point in the Grand Prix to keep up with these guys. I mean, I know he'll have worse tyres. I mean, I'm not being offensive here, but he's probably got a bit worse pace as we saw in qualifying. So he's doing a very good job at this point in the Grand Prix to keep up with these drivers, and could be working his way into some sort of points at the end of this race.
Well, it is generally... his position wasn't good in qualifying, but in terms of pace it was absolutely fine. Like, he was only 2 tenths off the massive pack of cars that were only separated by 4 tenths, so it wasn't that far off in terms of pace, but his position starting down in 16th obviously wasn't that ideal for him. But this train we're getting a 7-car train down this back straight into the last corner. Ali K has a look up the inside to say hello, I'm there. And now he should have the run down towards turn 1, and Ben doesn't pit, so he's carrying on those soft tyres, and that has allowed Kian, we should mention, up into 4th place, and now Ali K down inside snatches 5th from the Mercedes driver, and keeps the position, gets it nice and stopped for turn 1, although Ben's going to get better traction up through 3, and now he's got the run down towards turn 4. You can see the slipstream effect. All the drivers trying to find the slipstream behind, and now Ali K clumps the curb on the inside. Oh, the Sauber's gone spinning, and that's commentator's curse. We said how well he was doing, and now he's backwards.
Yeah, I feel sorry for him. Anyway, Ben is trying to put McLaren under some serious pressure, trying to go around the outside of there. That is just not going to work out with losing the rear end coming out of there. And he might have the outside lining towards turn 10. No, back down to that. So the McLaren up into 5th, so it's really starting to shake out now. And as you can see, oh my god, just look at the train behind, but back towards the podium positions, and Kian putting this in play under all sorts of pressure in towards turn 11, but wasn't able to get the move done there. And well, Ben is struggling for some traction coming out of there, but trying to almost give the hurry up to Ali K, but I think Ali K at this point in the Grand Prix has definitely got some better pace, and it'll be interesting to see when Ben pits, because I think at this point he's definitely on that free-stop strategy.
Okay, so here we have Kian in 4th place, right behind the Simplay. Okay, it looked like he was going to go into the pits then, but now he's going to have, the Renault's going to have the DRS down into turn 1, makes light work of the Simplay. And can he spot the braking? Yes, he does get it to the apex, and that is a beautiful move from the Renault driver. M-Thorn's way up the road, and Novo Tanks just commanding this race at will now, as the Simplay has a look back up the inside into turn 4, but doesn't make anything of it on those medium tyres. It's got less grip, obviously, because it's a harder compound, but that is 1st and 3rd for the Renault drivers at the moment. Now we are on board with Ali K, still battling with BMU, and Alex, the race winner and current championship leader in Australia, is in 7th place, watching back, and now here's Colt recovering from that spin on the first lap in 10th, so he's joined this train now, and that's how much time these guys are costing themselves at the moment. Oh, and Colt's gone spinning. It's gone from bad to worse for the Manor driver right now, and doesn't lose any position, so he isn't going to have much trouble catching this pack up again. As that's Beamy, sorry, looking down the inside. Alex going to try and go around the outside of turn 12. That's not really an overtaking spot. Is he going to pull it off around the outside of this one as well? He does. Oh, the Haas has come up the inside and just tapped the back of the Mercedes. That was rather clumsy from the Haas, I think there. I think that was RBOS in the Haas, and now well, Alex has come out of that unscathed up into 6th place, so I'm sure he'll take that any day of the week. And now he's right behind the McLaren, and he's surely going to have the position down into turn 1. Ali K defends it, and Alex is just going to sweep right. Yep, and Alex just pulls into the slipstream. Alex up into 5th.
Yeah, I mean, we had a massive train about 5 seconds ago, but full of incidents. I think what happened through turn 11, turn 12 into turn 13 was that people just got better runs because some people compromised. We're going to see it on board with Cole. So he just almost goes in too deep. That's definitely his fault. He's just locked up the brake and gone way too deep. Now on board with RBOS, coming out of turn 11 here, through turn 12. So Alex and Ben side by side, and then he just sort of... I mean, it's difficult to judge really. He's gone to the inside. That's not a very clever place to go. He probably should have just backed out of that one, but it's very difficult in the heat of the moment. But Alex up into P5. What are you going to say, something?
No, well, yeah, there was never really a gap there for RBOS to take. I mean, it was just, as I said, when it happened, it was just a little bit clumsy from RBOS. We've got a pitter in the background. I believe that's probably M-Thorn, considering there's no one else around. That yes, it is M-Thorn. There's no one else around at the moment. Nervo Tank, we had quite a good shot there of how far ahead he is and how dominant he is being right now. So M-Thorn, what's he going to go on to? Medium, lap 15. He might struggle to get to the end on those. I don't think...
That's an early pit stop. I mean, he was in a very comfortable position. And for me, he's putting himself in an uncomfortable position. I don't know why he's gone to mediums that early. He's going to really struggle with tyre wear at the end, but I'm sure he's done plenty of laps around here. He knows the strategy well, but he's come out in P8 and needs to stay ahead of the Williams and his teammate of RBOS. Obviously, his teammate was just involved in a collision, and the Williams doesn't even care that M4 is battling up front. He's gone right up the inside, and M4's teammate has gone straight through as well. So M4's down to P10, and that early pit stop is now not looking like a great idea.
It depends how much time he loses in this traffic, but this might cost M-Thorn a podium if that is the wrong call, because as Dan has just said, that is a very early pit stop, and that is a very weird line, and not the best one around turn 10, and RBOS doesn't make it difficult at all for his teammate. So now here we have Nervo Tank in the pits as well, so presumably he's going to do the same and go onto the medium tyre. Yep, there are the mediums ready. A beautiful pit stop camera angle and a beautiful pit stop from the Renault team. And is he going to rejoin in the lead, or is he going to rejoin behind those cars that we saw in the background? Look to the left of the screen, and he isn't going to rejoin in the lead, but he's still within a podium. Yeah, he's in 2nd place, so he's definitely on course to win this race, as we have Ali K down the inside of Alex, and that's a pretty clean move. And the McLaren is up into 3rd, or is he? Because Alex is going to have something to say about that. He's got to get past Ali K and make some headway if he wants to protect his championship lead. Down the outside, you're not going to get around the outside of there. Sunshine gets the cut back and loses the back end, and still down the inside for 6th, but no, he backs out of it, and Ali K maintains 3rd place at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Nervo Tank is just in an absolute commanding position at this point in the Grand Prix, but it's interesting to see whether the guys on mediums currently will try and force it to softs at the end or go for another set of mediums. It's interesting to see what strategy they go onto, but Nervo Tank now catching up to the Mercedes of Dissimplay, I think, I presume that's
Yes.
Display who is on the mediums right now. He obviously pitted on lap 3, so he's taking his mediums 13 laps. So that's an interesting guide for the guys who have just got onto mediums. So you can at least do 13 laps on those tyres. And Display, while he's struggling at this point, I don't think he's falling off the cliff. So maybe the 14-15 laps that Nero Tank and F1 have got to do isn't all that bad. But coming out of the final corner, Display is going to go into the pit to see what tyres he goes onto. But Nero Tank will retake the lead and is looking on course to take his first victory.
Well, he is effectively a pit stop ahead of everybody now, so he can make another pit stop and still come out in the lead. That's the margin that he's got at the moment, as Alex retakes the position from Ali K. These two are having quite a nice ding-dong at the moment. Oh, there's a Ferrari going very slowly there. I think that's Mazais, who left the session, and I think he's got a puncture earlier on in the session, so he has just left, unfortunately. It leaves a ghost car. I think that's to help disconnecting issues. So if a driver disconnects through no fault of their own, sorry, they can just rejoin and carry on racing, which is in a way good in itself. But the concept of the cars trundling around the track at like 50 odd miles an hour isn't enjoyable for the rest of the pack. But that's the game we have, and at the moment it is stable enough to race, which we are all very thankful for, as the sim play on the soft tyres, interestingly, going down the inside of the OG GR. So interesting that the sim play is going to the soft. We would have kind of thought it would have gone to the medium to get to the end of the race. That would have been a better solution, surely.
The only thing I don't know why he pitted on lap 3. Maybe it was a pit stop he didn't want to make, because the only reason I presume he hasn't gone to the mediums is that he hasn't got another set. Obviously, if you know from 2016, you've got to select a tyre strategy, and if you go for balance or softer, you will only get one set of the mediums, and I presume that is why he hasn't gone into the mediums, because if he'd gone into the mediums, he's definitely got, what, 3rd or 4th in the bag, so I presume that is why he's having to go on this compromise strategy. Alex staying out on his mediums doesn't look like he's going to force it to a soft stint at the end of the race. I don't think anyone's going to try the super softs. A bit pointless considering how little they last. GR Demon has managed to work his way back up into what is now P8 after, well, obviously his second lap incident with the Red Bull and his teammates. So he is fighting his way back through the field. He could be on for some points at the end of this race. Obviously, he's still got to make another pit stop, and I think a lot of people now are on their final, have already made their final pit stop actually, especially if they started on the super softs. But going to see how this emerges. Beco's on the super soft, so he's definitely got another stop to make. So I think he went super soft, super soft. So that, for me, looks like a 3-stop strategy.
Completely agree. He's probably going to pit in around 5 laps time, and then come in for another set of super softs if he has them available, which is more than likely at this track. So GR Demon in 8th at the moment on a completely different strategy compared to pretty much everyone after that front wing damage at the start of the race with the fortunate casualties of the 2 Force Indias. RBOS putting a lot of lock into that corner, unusually there, as GR Demon, you can tell how much he's struggling on those medium tyres now. And Big Hulk just sweeps clean around the outside. Will RBOS follow him around the outside of this corner? He does indeed. GR Demon has got no grip on those really old medium tyres. Obviously, he only had 1 set of those as well, so as soon as he came in to replace the front wing damage at the start of the race, he went onto a set of super softs and is now back on the same set of mediums that he was on the race on, considering he only did 2 laps. So now RBOS looking for 7th place. Up the inside, maybe into turn 1, surely. Yes, he does go up the inside, and that is a very clean move. Although Beaco's going to try and come back at him up towards turn 4. Will he get the traction out of turn 3? Yes, he does. He's in the slipstream. Will he get a run? No, he's not close enough on this occasion to go back up the inside of the Haas driver.
He's looking for quite good for Beacot and RBOS. Obviously, they're in that midfield scrap at the midpoint of this race a few laps ago, but they've now got into some clean air, so they can really pump in some good lap times on their super soft tyres, and when they do re-emerge they'll have much fresher grip than everyone. So could be looking up for some points as Big Shot loses the rear end massively coming out of that corner, and he's ahead of the Williams of number. He's actually, oh no, he's actually in a Williams sandwich, so I don't really know which Williams is which. But yeah, Big Shot really hasn't had the best race. Qualified P2 on the grid, had a decent first 5.5 laps, but then since his puncture, things have gone very downhill for Ferrari driver.
Well, it's gone downhill for Ferrari in general at the moment, to be honest, as he loses the back end again, going on the exit of turn 11. Looks like he's really struggling on those tyres, so he's going to have to pit again, presumably within the next couple of laps. This is around about the pit stop window for the last stops for those who are on a 2-stop. So lap 19:20 is probably the idea. If you're going to go onto softs, this is the time to pit, as we have 2 people coming out of the pits on that strategy. Ali K going on the softs in 5th, and I think Mayhem Madness in the Red Bull in well, we don't know, he's further down in this slot, that's for sure. And RBOS now going to try and catch Ali K while he's got the grip available to try and get past and make as much headway as possible before he comes in for his final stop. And now on board with Big Shot, still recovering from his many adventures he's had this afternoon or this evening, and through the fast chicane of 6 and 7, still in that Williams sandwich, so he's not really making any gains, but as long as the Williams in front is making gains, then I guess that's pretty much okay. He was sat in lane, so he's probably waiting for the correct opportunity to get past the Williams that is in front of him.
Yeah, I don't think that Williams ahead will have DRS on the car ahead, so probably down in towards turn 1 he'll be able to get that move done. But yeah, I mean, it's just interesting to see. Big Shot on the softs, I don't know when he put them on, but I suspect he's going to have to pit again. And well, interesting to see how it works out for Disimplay, who put those softs on around about lap 16, I think. So obviously he'll be still looking good at this point, but he'll probably have to make another pit stop around about lap 24. So yeah, a lot of strategies still yet to play out, and the guys who've just gone to soft tyres now will be putting in some rapid laps to catch those guys who went onto the mediums for the final stint.
We've got the second Williams in this train at the moment, trying to look down the inside of the Ferrari, but Big Shot going down the inside of, I think it's Nummer in that's ahead at the moment, and the Williams coming back around the outside, just about squeezes him onto the curb. That's going to give the Williams teammate up going to give the run up towards turn 4. Big Shot goes defensive, does he? He's moving around a lot, so hard to tell if he was going defensive or not. They'll just trying to frighten the Williams off the road, which he has done successfully. And well, that Williams now down into 12th place, and Big Shot back up into the points, and looks like he's just about to lose it at the moment. And the Mercedes back, oh, Big Shot just losing the back end on the exit. Those tyres look like they're really past their best right now, and Big Shot is now back in the Williams sandwich, which is delightful. And now, oh, there's contact, and that Williams, we really don't know who, I've forgotten the gamer tags of who that was.
I think that
behind,
was that Big? Oh no, it might not be Big C. It might have been Number. Did he get passed by both him and Big C in towards turn 1? I just can't keep up with this Grand Prix right now. But I presume the Mercedes is Ben. I don't really know. I think Ben's on the free stop, and I presume that's who it is. But he's probably got fresh tyres at this point, catching up to a Sauber. Don't know which Sauber it is, but it's a Sauber. And towards the final corner, the Williams goes up the inside, and they're going to be side by side heading down the pit straight, and the Ferrari of Big Shot comes into the pit lane, I presume maybe onto another set of softs. I don't really know. That's Disimplay. Also, Disimplay has pit again after obviously he went on to softs on lap 16, and then he's pitted again.
I don't think he's pitted again. I think that's just, he lost so much time on the medium when he was out there for 13 laps that he's just fallen back into the pack. So this is Disimplay for position, really, with an extra, we think an extra pit stop.
Surely not, because he was ahead of Ali K and people like that who were on the mediums. He had a decent mediums, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he's pitted again.
Okay, well, we don't know. So
it's
very helpful.
It's too difficult to keep up right now. But
It's really, you know, the race is going well when even the commentators can't even keep up with it. So here we are on board with Nervotank. We know where he is. He's doing fine, out in the lead, dominating the race. Then there's a huge gap to Remthorn. Then there's another huge gap to Kian. And then the top 6, to be honest, are all quite spread out. Here's B-Colt in 7th, running through the order quickly. That is Big C then. We now know that is definitely Big C up in 8th, ahead of the Simplate in 9th. I assume that is Jonas in 10th in the Sauber. Yes, it is. Got that spot on. Get in. And now Disimplay right behind Big C. Not really made a big name for himself at the moment, Big C, in the Williams. Coming over from a different league, and he's just pulled straight off. Oh, he wants to go into the pits, that's why. So that's going to put him... Oh, there's lots of people pitting, actually. So that's now promoted Disimplay up in 6th. As you can see, a train in the background.
Oh my God.
Another one. Here we go. There's a train, and there's quite a few people coming in and out of the pits. And now that's Mbia Rubin up the inside of Ben. And he's... Well, Mbia Rubin in 8th place. And Mayhem Madness steaming down the inside of the Sauber. And does he spot the apex? No, he doesn't. Almost run into the Mercedes, and that's allowed Mbia Rubin to get back up the inside and back into 8th place. I'm assuming this is all for position right now.
Well, I
I've
presume
honestly
the guy...
lost course of strategies.
I mean, Mbia Rubin is on mediums, but I just don't know. I presume it's a position. Now we've got Theo right behind this train. He'll be trying to get his... is it his first points of the season? Don't even know. But he'll be trying to get some points on the board. We've got RBS behind, who's on Sauce. So RBS is trying to catch up to this pack. Obviously, he went on super softs in his middle stint, but he's on a free stop, so we'll have some very good tyres at the end of this race. So we'll be trying to pick off a few of these cars. But yeah, we're in another train now, and I'm pretty sure all these are racing now for position towards the end of the race. Mayhem Madness goes up the inside of the final corner, gets that move done, and then there's cars going to the pit lane. Oh, people are going to the Mercedes pit. Is that Ben? Is that Ben who's pitted?
Yeah, that is Ben who's that is Ben who's pitted. He's probably going to go on super soft to the end, as there's cars weaving around all over the place. I don't know who's going where at the moment, but Mayhem Madness, I'm really struggling now to keep up with all of this action. And this train of cars battling humongously. They're probably losing seconds to the cars ahead and behind. And MB Rubin now on those mediums with less grip. Oh my... What on earth? I think that was caused by Mayhem Madness going really slowly. And I think MB Rubin's just tapped the car in front of him. And I'm quite frankly lost right now. And they've got front wing damage at the moment, MB Rubin and the Williams there. So they're going to have to come into the pits again, because that's an awful lot of front wing that they've lost. As we say hi to the cameraman.
Well, MB Rubin was definitely going to the end. If you saw his tyre wear graphic briefly pop up, it was only like 30%. So he was definitely going to be going to the end of this race. So now it's all sort of worked out that the guys are split up. RBS has managed to work his way back up into P8. Now the manner of B-Colt has managed to work his way back into this train, because he pitted only a lap or two ago for a final set of super softs, I think. So it's all pretty hectic to keep up with. I'm pretty sure X-Men Madness has made his final pit stop of the race and going to the end on a set of softs. B-Colt's definitely going to the end. And now we've got the Force India of GR Demon, who's caught up to this pack with all the battling that they have done. And now he'll be going to the end on a set of softs, I presume. So, we've got 5 laps, well, 4 and a bit laps to go in this race. And can there be any more action?
Well, I think if you take the previous 24 laps into contention, there's bound to be more action with 5 to go, including this one. So you can see how spread out the pack is until you get to this huge group, and that's how much time, along with battles and incidents that these guys have lost. They're 50 seconds behind the leader, we just saw on the graphic there. And RBOS putting his nose again in an awkward place, tapping the back of Mayhem Madness. Well, it looked like on the spectator cam there. But yeah, he did, because he's letting back through. So as a Ferrari loses it a long way in the background. So RBOS needs to keep calm, keep headed at the moment, and just drive clean around the outside of Mayhem Madness. I don't know if he was letting him through there or what. And oh, but there is action up front. We've got Alex up the inside of Kian for the podium places, and this is pretty much to save any hopes that Alex has got of maintaining his championship lead. Although he is going to lose it at this rate, the Kian's not going to give way, and he's not going to make it that easy for the Red Bull driver. And has a look down the inside. Does it go up the inside? Yes, he does. He clouts the curb, hops over the curb, and hits the Renault driver. That's his. I think that's his own fault. He clumsily went up the inside there, probably surprised at how much more grip he had, and I don't really suppose Kian should lift off there. I don't think he really needed to, and now he's going to be under threat from Ali K, who's we really heard nothing from his after his final pit stop, but now here we are on board with a replay on board with Kian around the outside. This is all fine, very close on the exit of that corner on turn 2, and he's not going to see Alex come down the inside of him until pretty late. Yeah, Alex left that way too late to go for a move and tap the back of the Renault. And here we are with an outboard of it. Alex, yeah, it's just a little bit clumsy. He's lost control of his car on the brakes. Tried to avoid him by going over the curb, and as soon as you go on the curb, especially around this track, your front tyres are in the air and you can't turn anymore. So that has really cost Alex the chance of a podium, unless he's got the pace to pull that back in 3 laps. But you have to say Ali K's looking good for a podium now.
Yeah, well, obviously a quite fresh set of soft tyres compared to Keane on the medium, so he's got a grip advantage at very least. Ben has left the session. I think that's actually lagged out, which is very unfortunate for him. But now we can see whether the McLaren can get his first podium of the season and spoil this double Renault podium, because Renault are looking very good at this point in the season. Got a good points haul in Australia, and they're looking good to get a 40-point haul from Bahrain, which would surely put them as favourites for the Constructors' Championship. But Ali can get a podium here. If he keeps it nice and tidy out of the exits of corners, he'll definitely have a good chance in towards turn 1 at the end of this lap.
Needs to watch his fuel though, because he's getting quite low on fuel at the moment. I think it's around about 0.05, even if it's plus. Even if you have plus 0.05, you're going to run out of fuel a couple of meters before the line. You'll start chugging. So Ali K's got to watch that for now. But he doesn't need to be crazy about this. He doesn't need to go for a do or dive at the moment. He's still got 2 laps to go at the end of this one. But you have to think it's going to be a done deal down into turn 1. Here we are on board with M Thorne, looking okay at the moment in 2nd place. He's got to watch his rear tyres though, because
that is very dangerous from the Haas. We said this when he pitted so early on. 72%, so he is now in the range where he can get punctures on this game. He might not be suffering that much in terms of grip, but at any point this game can just say, you're getting a puncture and you are losing 50 seconds on 1 lap. So I would be very worried if I was him, but his teammate in the Haas is going up the inside of the Simplay in towards turn 1. So maybe I was wrong when I said the Simplay pitted again, because he must be really struggling for grip, because only a couple of laps ago he was about 4 or 5 seconds of the Haas. So yeah, I think the Simplay's tyres absolutely reached a cliff now.
I perfectly agree with that, to be honest. I think the maximum you'll get before the tyres start to drop is 10 laps, and then they'll start to drop off from there on out, and you'll risk getting a puncture as well as just losing seconds a lap. That's how much you lose on these Pirellis since they've come into the sport since F1 2011. They were brought into the sport to create interesting races, and we've certainly had an interesting race this afternoon, as Ali K has sadly picked up a 3-second penalty for track limits. 3 warnings and you get a penalty, and that's the way it is on this game. Unfortunate that he couldn't keep it within the white lines, but it's the same for everybody. And now he's got a... I don't think, unless Kian has got a penalty, this isn't really for position at all. And just sits behind. He's not got that good straight line speed apparently, because he's not been able to get past the Renault.
Yeah, I mean,
for a couple of laps now.
Could that cost Ali K the podium? But we cut back to GRD. Oh my God, there's contact between the Red Bull. I think the man has got a puncture. I don't really know what's happening right now, but
I think 2 people have got a puncture going back into the pits there. I think the Simplay, must have got a puncture on the rear. Yeah, he has got a rear right puncture. So I think we were kind of right guessing whether or not the Simplay had a puncture or hadn't pitted a 3rd time, and that's cost him badly this afternoon.
Yeah,
if only he'd gone to another set of mediums.
Look how close Ali K and Kian now are to M4. That gap was massive at the start of this stint. And as I said, when M4 made his very early pit stop, he'd be shutting on tyres. And now, well, I think he's just trying to coast it home. I'm pretty sure that's what he's doing, because he's only got a sector left to go. So he's not really in any danger from these 2. But, well, Ali K's probably only got 1 remaining opportunity in towards the final corner. He's going to need a very good exit from here. Puts it up into Rich Mix. He needs to get into the slipstream, but just does not have the straight line speed. And now he needs to save fuel because he's on plus 0.00. Jim Nervotank has won the Bahrain Grand Prix. M4 is going to come home in P2, and Ali K has run out of fuel, but I don't think that should cost him, although he has got that penalty actually. So we're going to see whether Alex finishes ahead of him. I don't think he has. Oh no, Alex has also run out of fuel. Alex
has run out of fuel.
So it's fine. Everyone's just run out of fuel. No one knows that you need actually extra fuel to finish on this game. RBOS, it looks like he's going to come home P6.
He's had a lot of adventures this afternoon, so it proves that you should never give up on a league race, because you can still come home with a fairly good result. And I think he'll be relieved with that 6th place, in all honesty.
Oh my God, Giorgio's got a puncture! On the way to the finish line, he's got a puncture. The Red Bull's gone past, the Ferrari's gone past, and he's been demoted down to P10, but no, he's back up to P8 with penalties. Oh my God, it's all kicked off here at the end of this race. The Williams and the Sauber have completed the points, and Via Rubin comes home in P13. He had his race ruined when he lost his front wing only a few laps from the end of this race. And Nummer finishes P16. Is he the last of the finishers? I don't even know. Anyway, some replays. Lap 28, I presume we're going to see the man as tyres go. Oh, X-Mayor Madness made contact with this Simplay. And now we've got GR Demon looking up the inside, and there is the puncture, I think. No. Oh no, we just let him through. Oh, and there's the puncture.
You see the Simplay get a puncture as well, because he just slides it around the last corner. Yeah. Mayhem Madness only just getting between them, and they both got punctures pretty much at the same point. That's incredible.
We are seeing a lot of punctures in this Grand Prix.
Yeah, that just proves you have to be on the right tyres, on the right strategy, and what a race that was. Absolutely incredible. And at the end of it, Nervotank takes a dominant victory in the end, 22 seconds ahead of M Thorn, who had a very quiet race, has to be said. Kian in 3rd, a double podium for the Renault team. Ali K coming home in 4th place. Alex, the race winner of Australia, finishing only in 5th. B Colt in 6th, RBOS in 7th. GR Demon in 8th with a strong recovery drive after a very unfortunate start. Mayhem Madness in 9th. Big Shot recovering to get 1 point in the Ferrari. And Big C just missing out on a points finish. The Saubers come home in 12th and 13th. No points on the board for them, unfortunately. De Simplay in 14th and the OG in 15th. Nama coming home in 16th with Ben, Mazais and Dan not being able to make the finish. And what that does for the Drivers' Championship then is move Nervotank up into the lead with 43 points. Alex now dropping to 2nd, only 8 points behind. Kian goes up into 3rd with Ali K in 4th. M Thorn with his first points of the season moves up to 5th. De Simplay down to 6th and Big Shot down to 7th. B Colt, Big C and RBOS rounding out the top 10. and the OG GR on 4 points in 11th. GR Demon with his first points of the season goes up to 12th. Dan, MB Rubin, Jonas, Numa, Mazois and Arboy all without points at the moment.
So looking at the Constructors' Championship, we can see that Renault have got a very early advantage, already at 70 points compared to Red Bull, who are their closest challengers, and they've only got 37, so they've already got a sizable advantage. Haas in third after a good result for the team today, with McLaren in fourth, Ali K doing a great job considering he's carrying that team on his own at this point. Mercedes in fifth, Manor sixth, Ferrari seventh, Williams eighth, Force India at ninth, and Sauber are the only team not to score a single point over the whole season in 10th.
So from me and Dan in the commentary box, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you for round 3. It's a Chinese Grand Prix, don't miss it.